Hello students, this is Neeta Biju. Welcome back to another class of business studies. In our last class, we studied about the sole proprietorship, the meaning and the features. And now in today's class, we're going to do the merits and limitations of sole proprietorship. So we'll start with the merits or the advantages of sole proprietorship. First one, the quick decision making. The second one, confidentiality of information. The third one, direct incentive. The fourth one is sense of accomplishment. The fifth one is ease of formation and closure. So these are the advantages or merits of sole proprietorship. As you all know, sole proprietorship is a single person who owns the business and manages and controls the whole business. One single person who starts the business and manages and controls and carries out the business is called as a sole proprietorship business. So we are going to study the plus points or the merits or advantages of the sole proprietorship business one by one. So the first one is quick decision making. A sole proprietor has all the freedom to take any decision without consulting others. Therefore, decision making is very prompt. This will help the sole proprietor to take advantage of the market opportunities and act fast. So when the sole proprietor, he or she need not consult any third party, any outsider, anybody for that matter, in taking any important business decision, need not consult anybody, and therefore he can take decision very fast. Prompt means immediately and very fast, and act accordingly also very fast, and take the advantage of all the opportunities and chances that comes at his hand. So this is what is, he acts fast and quick decision making is possible in a sole proprietorship business. Second advantage or merit is confidentiality of information. So confidentiality of information means secrecy of information. A sole proprietor need not publish the firm's accounts to the public. Therefore, it helps the sole proprietor to maintain business secrets and keep all the information related to business operations confidential. So there is no law, there is no, you can say, any rules or regulations as such that a sole proprietor business has to publish the accounts in annual reports. There is nothing as such law is there, and that is why sole proprietorship business can keep the business secrets to himself and to itself. The secrets can be maintained and the information related to business operation can be kept very, very confidential. He or she need not disclose the business secrets or even the business accounts to anybody. The next advantage is direct incentive. So direct incentive means you get the benefit of your hard work, that is in simple terms. So a sole proprietor need not share the profits of the business with anybody because he or she is the sole owner of the business. Therefore, it provides direct incentive to the sole trader for his or her efforts and hard work. So whatever you are doing, whatever efforts you put, whatever hard work you put in, everything is reaped by you. Okay, so that is what is direct incentive. So it's nothing but whatever you do, you are going to get benefit of it, and that is what is a sole proprietorship direct incentive means. The next advantage or merit of sole proprietorship is the sense of accomplishment. Sense of accomplishment means it is a feeling of self accomplishment and self satisfaction, as he or she alone is responsible for the success of the business, and at the same time it will boost the confidence level of one's ability. So you will get to know, yeah, you are sole owner, you are the one and only person who is conducting the business, and you have confidence and trust. You will have that confidence level high when you know that your ability and you are capable and you are skillful enough to earn, and this is what is called as self accomplishment. So whatever you do, it's according to your satisfaction, and you'll have that feeling that whatever success you have gained in your business, whatever profit you have gained in your business is nothing but it's only your effort and hard work. That is what is called as self satisfaction or self accomplishment. Next one is a very simple and common point, ease of formation and closure. So there is no separate law that governs sole proprietorship, and therefore it has no much legal formalities, rules or regulations in order to start or even close the business. So that is why what happens is it becomes very easy to form and close the business as per the will and wish of the owner. So it's very easy, you need not follow any sort of legal formalities or documentation or paperwork, nothing of that sort, because there is no law as such that lays down the rules or regulations for a sole proprietorship, and that is why you need not go through any legal formalities. Only license sometimes is required. Okay, so that is why according to a sole proprietor's will and wish, you can anytime start the business and at any time you can close the business. It's so easy. So that is what is ease of formation and closure. Okay, now we finish with the advantages. Now we'll study about the limitations and drawbacks of a sole proprietorship, the negative points. The first one is limited resources. The second one is limited life of a business concern. The third one is unlimited liability. The fourth one is limited managerial ability. So these are the limitations of a sole proprietorship, the drawbacks or the limitations, which will give you the negative points of sole proprietorship business. So we'll do that one by one. Limited resources. A sole proprietor can raise funds for the business only from personal savings or by borrowing from others. And due to this limited resources, the size of the business remains very small and there are less opportunities for growth and expansion of business. So limited resources means everything is very less, especially the funds that are required. It's actually coming from the personal savings of the proprietor or borrowing from relatives or friends. Usually banks they are hesitant to actually lend money or grant loans to these proprietors since their business is small. Okay, because their financial capacity or their financial credit worthiness is not too huge. That is why banks sometimes hesitate to grant loans to sole proprietors, and therefore they have to depend on raise funds and resources only from their personal savings or from their relatives and friends, and this is going to be a very small amount, and that is why this becomes a limited resource. When limited resource is there, you cannot even imagine of growth and expansion of the business, and that is why limited resources will become a drawback or limitation for your sole proprietorship. Next limitation is limited life of a business concern. Yes, a sole proprietor business has a short life since it is owned and managed by a single person, and the death, insanity, imprisonment, illness, bankruptcy or of a proprietor will affect the business directly, and it may at times lead to the closure of the business even. So a sole proprietorship business has very short life, it has very limited life. There is no continuity of life for a sole proprietorship because it depends on one person, and that anything happens to that person, it may be death, it may be sickness, it may be bankruptcy, it may be imprisonment, it can be insanity. Okay, so all these matters will directly affect the business, and sometimes it will even lead to close down the business, and that is what is called as limited life of business concern. It doesn't have long life. Next very important and you can say very popular drawback of sole proprietorship is unlimited liability. One of the greatest drawback of a sole proprietorship business is the unlimited liability, where the proprietor is personally liable to repay the debts in case the business assets are not sufficient for the payment of debts. So in case you have taken loan from anywhere, you have borrowed from banks, you need to repay back the loans with interest, and in case if you are unable to repay back the loan or your debt to your creditors, then what happens is the business assets will be sold in order to repay back your loan or debt. And in case business assets are not sufficient, even your personal property will be sold out in order to repay the debts, and this is what is called as unlimited liability. Your debts will be attached to your personal property. So this is the greatest risk faced by a sole proprietorship business, that is unlimited liability, wherein even your personal assets, your house, your land, your car, any asset for that matter, can be sold out for the payment of liability or debt. Next limitation is limited managerial ability. The owner has to alone manage all the business activities and operations, and it becomes very difficult to find an individual who is an expert in all these areas and fields, and due to this he or she lacks managerial ability. So you have only one person managing the business, and that person has to take care of purchase, sales, marketing, promotion, after sales service, so many operations and activities to be taken care and managed by one single person. And of course you will not find one single person having all these abilities together. They'll not be expert in all the areas, and that is why managerial ability will come down. It becomes little difficult to manage the business, and managerial efficiency goes down and lacks managerial ability because of limited managerial skills, because you cannot manage all the areas equally. So the conclusion, dear students, though sole proprietorship has certain limitations, it is one of the best form of business ownerships or organization because it requires very less capital, very less money investment, and it can be carried out on a small scale and where customers require personalized services. So even though we have studied the limitations as well as advantages will have more weightage in sole proprietorship business. Majority of them go for sole proprietorship business because there is less capital investment there, and at the same time you can carry out business on a small scale, and wherein you need somewhere personal contact with your customers or personal services required by your customers, then you can go for a sole proprietorship business. I hope you have understood this topic, dear students. In our next class, we'll start with the joint Hindu family business. For now, this is enough. Thank you.